Hello Virgo, and welcome to your new moon insight video for the lunar cycle, beginning with the Leo new moon solar eclipse, the final eclipse of the season, the closing of the Lion's Gate, and completing with a new moon in your sign, the sign of Virgo, on the 9th of September. So this is the lunar cycle that I am calling the great unwinding, because it's an opportunity for us to begin to integrate the lessons that we have been learning over the past few months. One by one, the planets are going to start to change direction. The sun's going to come into your sign. There's going to be a beautiful earth trine, and things are going to start to become a lot calmer, a lot more solid than they have been. You know, we've been walking on very, very shaky ground. The energies have been very erratic, very up and down. So this is a chance for us to soothe our frazzled nervous systems and begin to think about moving forward in productive ways. So you, Virgo, begin the month with the sun, the moon, the eclipse, and Mercury retrograde all in your 12th house. And the sun always transits the 12th house the month before our birthday month, before the sun comes into our own sign and we are rebirthed. So this is a period of internal cleansing. Perhaps you are shedding and clearing the baggage of the past 12 months. There's a lot of psychic clearing that goes on during this period of the year for you, Virgo. And with Mercury retrograde here, this can take on a new level. Perhaps there are some old friendships, some old connections that you're really having to work to let go of. Perhaps there's a lot of memories, a lot of things coming up from the subconscious, old patterns, old addictive behaviors, old patterns of victim mentality perhaps that need to be let go of at this time. This is a real time of being internal for you. And the whole month really is seeing you work through patterns of sacrifice and service, because we know, Virgo, that you are the helper, one of the helper signs of the zodiac, and you tend to give and give and give. And these energies can highlight where you're actually sacrificing yourself, or where you're not seeing things clearly, where you're not seeing people clearly. It can also be a time when you can receive blessings, you can receive some profound messages from the universe that will guide you forward. This is a time of meditating, of dreaming, of relaxing, of letting go, of dissolution, as these energies move through your 12th house. As Mercury stations direct on the 19th, which we know can be a very sticky day, particularly for you, as a Virgo, you are Mercury ruled, and on the days that Mercury stations, there can be an extra energy of frustration or stuckness in the air, because he's actually at a standstill and at his most potent. But after we move through this period on the 19th, things will start to become clear. You know, Mercury's going to move. He'll be joining the sun in your sign in September. So it's a time when things can start to, again, move forward, become clear. All of the internal work, recalibration that's been happening, you start to see results of those thought patterns you've changed manifesting in the physical reality. On the same day as Mercury stations, there's a beautiful trine between Jupiter in Scorpio in your 3rd house and Neptune, who is in Pisces in your 7th house, where he's been for a very long time and will continue to be for a long time. So this is an energy that brings us some blessings, brings us some healing. It's a very gentle, flowing, watery energy. So for you, Virgo, you can see new opportunities coming in through your connections with others. Perhaps some of you will meet somebody during this period as your 7th house is activated. Jupiter in Scorpio in your 3rd house has been really asking you to speak your truth, to share your deep feelings, to share your deep wisdom, you know, to take your communication way beyond the superficial or way beyond what you think other people want to hear. And if you've been doing that work, Virgo, if you've been working to be more authentic in your vocalization, or if you have been working towards, you know, some kind of writing or speaking career, if you've been sharing and teaching your wisdom, this can be a time when blessings can start to come your way, but it's quite likely they may come through other people. So just be open to receiving around that time. Just after the new moon and before Mercury stations direct, Mars will move back into Capricorn on the 12th of August. And he's going to move back into your 5th house where he was in May time this year, particularly the 11th and the 16th of May. He's going to be going over the same degrees as he was then. And although he spent most of his retrograde journey in your 6th house, which we'll talk about a little bit later, as he dips back into your 5th, there may be some issues, you know, some creative projects, some budding relationships or romances that began around this time that, you know, we now have to go back and rework and really ground and solidify. We've got a lot of activity going on in this 5th house of your birth chart this month, with Saturn also stationing direct here. And this is really the house of self-love. It's the Leo house, again, connected with authentic self-expression. So the work you've been doing around that and around honing your creative skills and visions, as these planets start to station direct, there will be rewards for you. If you've been really laboring with your creative process, you've been really giving all your time and effort and energy into your art, into the way that you express yourself in this world, then this can be a great time of recompense for you, Virgo. So the sun will move into your sign on the 23rd. It's your birthday month, so happy birthday, Virgos. I hope that it is filled with joy for you. And, you know, this is the time of the month, the time of the year when the sun is in our sign and we are shining brightly. We have the vitality, we have the drive, we have the enthusiasm to move forward. You know, perhaps we're celebrating, we're realizing how loved we are, we're feeling a bit like a Leo, king for the day. So it's a beautiful energy when the sun enters our own sign. And for you, as the sun enters your sign, so if you're an early born Virgo, you know, if you're born around the 23rd, 22nd, 24th, or even the 25th, the sun's going to come through and it's going to come into an earth trine with Saturn in your 5th house, with Uranus and Taurus in your 9th house. So if your sun is around those same degrees, those early degrees between the 1st and the 3rd of Virgo, you will also receive the benefits of this ongoing trine, you know, even more profoundly. But either way, it's a very, very beautiful energy. Like I mentioned, it's a very stabilizing energy. And for you, it's illuminating the fire houses of your sign, Virgo, so of your chart. So this is a time of grounding creative inspiration. You know, there might be some divine downloads that came in, or perhaps you kind of really have the time now to capture the essence of the ones that are gave to you and begin to create, begin to weave them into the world. Perhaps you're changing how you present yourself to the world in some way. You're reorganizing your life. You're coming into alignment with who you are becoming now after the massive shifts that we've all been through. So it's a beautiful energy and lots of grounding, lots of blessings can come through at this time, and you know, tangible physical results for all the effort we've been putting in. On the 26th of September, Virgo, there will be a Pisces full moon in your opposite sign, in your 7th house, and opposing the sun, who will be in your sign at this moment. So this is a time of the year where you may become aware of things you need to let go of, things that need healing in your partnerships, in your connections with others. This moon will bring the energy of washing clean, of washing away any of the residue, the emotional anguish that we might still be carrying through from eclipse season. So this is a time of letting go, of if you've been holding on to some anger, to some pain around your connections with others, friendships, partnerships, work partnerships, business partnerships. This is the time when you can gently let it go. And it can also really highlight for you, Virgo, that energy of how much you give to other people, how much you want to help, how much you want to take care, how much responsibility you take for other people. So if your relationships have become unbalanced, if you've been giving more than you've been receiving, this can be a time to readdress that. And that will be a theme that carries on as we move to the new moon in your sign as well. But before that, yay, Mars is going to station direct on the 27th. And like I said, he's going to be in that 5th house where you may be may have been reworking some of your creative offerings, some of your romantic relationships. And he's going to station direct. So all of the energy that you've been putting in over the summer to taking care of yourself, to purifying yourself, to reorganizing and restructuring your life is now going to come to fruition, because Mars did spend most of his retrograde period in your 6th house, which is ruled over by Aquarius. So during the summer, there may have been issues around your health. Perhaps your body has been giving you messages about what you need to do in order to heal yourself. Perhaps you've had to detoxify, or perhaps it's been more on a mental, emotional level. Perhaps you've been extra anxious, extra self-critical as these energies were highlighted. You know, you always are the sign that strives for perfection, and the 6th house is naturally ruled over by you, Virgo. So this can be a time when you've been extra hard on yourself, wanting yourself to live up to even more unrealistic standards. And like I say, there may have been changes in your health, there may have been changes in your work, changes in your day-to-day structure that have been happening, you know, that you've been having to work really, really hard to manage. And as Mars stations direct and then moves back into Aquarius on the 10th of September, you can begin to see some of the benefits of all of this extra effort that you've been putting in. So if you've been detoxifying, purging, clearing, decluttering mentally, physically, emotionally, if you've been working very hard on some project, if you've been looking for work, if you've been looking to realign your career, then this can be a time when things can start to move forward again in those areas. And because of the extra energy you've put in, they will be even more improved, more blessed than they were before you began your renovation exercises in these areas. So Saturn also stations direct on the 6th of September, and he is in the 5th house. So again, we go back to this energy of how you have been learning to love yourself. How have you been learning to really value yourself and to give yourself the love and approval that you require from the outside world? How have you been reworking how you share your authentic self with the world? this can be a time when, you know, the way that you create is changing, you know, and, you know, it might be a period for you of a lot of the things that used to feel true for you, that used to feel authentic for you, that used to bring you joy, that used to enhance your energy and vitality no longer do. So you may have been making some changes in these areas as well, and this Saturn moving direct energy can help you to see just how far you've come. And again, you know, things can now start to move forward in these areas. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy that's coming to us late August. I was in October then, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Be nearly Halloween. Late August, early September. And of course, we finish this lunar cycle with the new moon in your own sign. So this is your moment of rebirth, Virgo. This is your time to set into motion all of those things which you wish to bring into being. How do you wish the next 12 months to be? What do you want to call forward into your life at this time? And really think about it. Really give yourself some time and space when the new moon is in your sign to really decide what you want and set those intentions, perhaps in a ritual or ceremonial fashion, and know that they will come to you as the wheel of the year turns. I have pulled some cards for you, Virgo, and it's very, very interesting because I picked up the card deck, which is the Mythic Oracle by Carissa Malado and Michelle Lee Phelan, the artist. And these are Greek mythological archetypes on these cards. And the one that flew out for you, and he's actually flown out so many times during these readings, so you might have him twice if you're listening to your rising sign as well. And he is Mercury, Hermes, the messenger. And this is extra confirmation for you, Virgo, that the messages that you're receiving, the intuitions that you're receiving are correct, are on point, because you are a sign that often likes to rationalize and practicize and analyze things. But Mercury in your 12th house is saying listen to your dreams, listen to your visions, listen to your spiritual side. And with Neptune and the Pisces full moon in your 7th house, you know, particularly listen to the insights and the nudges, the intuitive nudges you're getting around your relationships at this time, Virgo. Pay attention to the signs. Make that stillness, make yourself able to listen, you know, give yourself the space to receive. And the second card was Hera, who is the queen of the gods, the wife of Zeus, Jupiter. And poor Hera was much maligned in Greek mythology, but initially she was a great queen of heaven, not the kind of jealous, vengeful archetype that is often presented to us. So she represents sovereignty, and it says on the card here, duty. And I feel like this is really talking to you about the duties and obligations that you feel you have to other people, Virgo. Now might be the time, this might be the month where you really start to recognize where people might be taking advantage a little bit, where you need to set some boundaries, where you need to really use that throat chakra energy to say, no, this isn't right for me. I need to create some space for myself. And she wants to remind you that your first responsibility is to taking care of yourself. You can't help anyone else unless you are feeling well yourself, unless you have, you know, filled yourself up with energy and things that nourish your soul. So just be aware of this. This cycle, this pattern of yours that may be coming to the forefront during this 4 weeks, and claim your own sovereignty. Become the queen of your own life, Virgo, or king of your own life if you're listening and you're a man. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful messages for you. Thank you so much for listening to me, Virgo. If you would like to connect with me further, there are some links under the video, or you can contact me for a reading if you feel to do so. I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings for this beautiful, grounding, integrating lunar cycle.